they say that behind every man is a woman, and at the same time, I can even tell you behind every successful business, there is an implementer, somebody that goes out there to get things done. And in this case, it happened to be a woman as well. I'm very privileged to spend some time with Rochelle Macam, who has been in the co-pilot seat of the Academy for the last 11 years and has a wonderful story. I'm really excited to bring some of the insights and some of the learnings to all our audiences, but more importantly, sharing this with as many people as possible, because you know, when they say the word impossible is I am possible. So let's hear a bit more about how this has become possible. So how are you, Rochelle?
I am good. Quite nervous.
That's fine. You've seen me do all these things. Yeah. You've actually been behind the camera.
I was behind the camera, and now I'm here sitting with you.
In front of the camera. That's really great. And I want you to be comfortable to be sitting in front of the camera, because you have a wonderful story, and there are lots of people out there that you're going to help as you take your story and inspire people out there. So, yeah. Absolutely. Rochelle, just let's go back in time till 2012 when you first came to Dubai. What was on your mind? What was the main, let's say, drivers to bring you over here?
Yeah, so just like many other nationalities coming in Dubai, I came here with a vision to provide or give a better life for my family, better future for my children. And I heard a lot of things about Dubai, and I heard that there's a lot of opportunities here. And although I'm not sure whether I find that better opportunity that I was looking for, I took my chance.
So wonderful. And the story goes, the way I got to meet Rochelle was, I would say, through our nanny. So she comes to me, she gives me a CV. She said, "Sir, I know you love to help people. You think you can help my cousin or nephew or something, or niece?" So I look at that CV, and I was at the time in my business where I was really looking for somebody that can take away some of the admin tasks at that time, right? And that can free me up to do more face-to-face time with clients. And the more I read about what your background was and what you were doing, the more I'm thinking, can this be the person? So sure enough, that was the person. So Rochelle, I think if you go back in time, there was maybe several obstacles. What were some of the obstacles that you faced at the beginning of working with the Academy, and what did you do to kind of overcome them?
So first, English is my third language, so it's kind of hard for me. So this is my first time to be exposed in an environment where we really need to use English to communicate. I was very shy. I was actually telling this story that whenever you ask me to go to an event with you, I wish I can say yes. I wish I could say no.
I wish I could say no.
And I wish I could hide under the table whenever someone comes to approach me. So yeah, eventually with your guidance and with you help me expose myself more to people, I realize that successful people where we usually deal with are very approachable, very friendly, and they're always willing to help people, to make them feel comfortable. So yeah, that's really amazed me.
So I like this. I think on the English side, so that was the first gap. So what did you do specifically there on that?
So you enrolled me actually to a business school. So for me to
an English school,
yeah,
not a business school.
But it's like business English course.
Right.
Yes. So.
And I can tell you, just within those 12 weeks that you were, there was a huge transformation. You know what they say, when when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And in this case, you were ready, you were willing to really open up the door on learning. And that was just one of the first things that you started learning, and there's a lot more to come. But the other thing you said, which is quite interesting, is the shyness. I think today, ideally, as you know, I teach at Halt International Business School, and I meet with a lot of young professionals, no matter what age. I'm going to call them young professionals, although I teach at the executive MBA level. Even at that level, in many occasions, I find people are more reserved. They're afraid to speak up. They're like, what if I say something and it's not the right thing? I'm going to look dumb or something. But what you just said right now is successful people actually are very approachable.
Yes, they won't judge you. They are willing to help you develop yourself, to make improvement, and they correct you in a very nice way. So where you don't be insulted or what.
So a lot of the fears that you had that maybe held you back was false.
It was.
It was, and so of course, when that belief that I'm gonna be judged, I'm gonna sound like an idiot is not true. Well, then guess what? You started coming out, and you showed up more at the events. And I remember you speaking with people and people commending me on, okay, nice choice. You've picked, the right person. And sure enough, it's, again, the message in here is a lot of time we let fear be bigger than our hopes and our goals and our dreams. But fear is actually false expectation appearing real. So when you expect something that is not real, that's false expectation. You're expecting something, and of course here you busted that, and voila, we have a really awesome job you're doing here. Just having this conversation, and this message really goes out to everyone, whether you're hearing this as a sales professional, as a sales leader, as anything, because let me tell you, the way we feel about ourselves and the beliefs we have can either empower us or disempower us, and that's that. Okay, so then fast forward. I remember with you, Rochelle, we together started building our online content.
Yes.
We together worked with a team. We had a full-time photographer with us, videographer, Pari. Hi, Pari, how you doing?
Hi.
We had IT, Taslim, the late Taslim. We definitely miss him. And nonetheless, people like Roger, who again worked with you, sharpened your, let's say, what did Roger do? What were the things you got out of working with Roger?
So so Roger, he taught me to be more detailed, because I was like, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do it. So Roger is the person who really trained me to, like, if you do something, you need to do it right.
Mm-hmm. So do something, do it right. If you do,
and focus on whatever you do and know your priorities. And
finish it. Just get it done. And again, Roger was another leader with me, somebody who, as a consultant, as a instructional designer, somebody who also helped create a lot of structure. So Rochelle definitely benefited from that. So Rochelle, in our journey, I remember you once telling me about your goal setting exercise.
Yes.
So maybe you can tell us a little bit more. So you've heard me talk about goal setting, and then what happened?
So first, I thought I'm good at planning and putting goals, but they are all in here. So sometimes, or most of the time, I forget.
Where is in here?
In my mind.
As opposed to?
To writing it down.
Mm-hmm.
So when I work with you, I always hear you teaching people about writing goals, and you'll surprise it's gonna happen. So I was like, what's the difference between writing goals and thinking about it?
Right.
So the first time, I know you, one New Year, you asked me, Rochelle, have you write your goals? And I was like, not yet, but I'm planning to do it, but I was not. I lied, sorry. And then, so I eventually did it. So I write something, okay, after 1 year, and then maybe one or two happened. Then I thought, why is this not working for me? So I realized that you have to really implement the SMART goals. So I put a time frame that's like impossible time frame. So I thought, what do I really want, and what's the realistic time frame for me to do this, given my resources. And then I put 5 years. So I eventually.
So what were in that list? So now I'm. So here I like this thinking around, putting some time frame.
Yeah.
Okay. So what were some of the things you said, and what were the time frame that was impossible? So if I understand you, you wanted to really push it, right?
Yeah. So because I thought it's magic that when you write it down, it's gonna happen automatically. So it's magic. So.
It is kind of magic.
Yeah, but you need to give time based on the resources that you have, based on what can you do, also the abilities, and how can you improve, how far can you go. I remember putting it like, I wanna have a house, I wanna have a car, I wanna have a farm, I wanna have like insurance, investment in insurance. I need to save money, like put something and then a time deposit. And so those are the like big ones.
The big ones.
Yes. So after, then I kept the paper, we moved house, and then I found this paper during the pandemic, 2020. So I was like, I read it, and that's the time that I called you, that I need to tell you something, that I found the paper where I wrote down my goals 5 years ago, and 9 of 10 happened.
9 out of 10.
Yes.
9 out of. So they happened within that 5 years, or it happened some of them before the 5 years?
Before, some of them before the 5 years, but within that 5 years. Yes.
Okay. Wonderful. Now, Rochelle, I'm going to ask you that last one. What is that last one?
That last one was, I plan to like go home 2020, because that's where my son gonna start going to school. So I wanted to be there with him to guide him, but that didn't happen because of some factors. But everything happens for a reason. If I have gone in 2020, I wouldn't be working with you anymore. So now I'm going, still connected with the academy, with you, and with the team, still working remotely. So it's perfect timing.
So 10 out of 10.
Yes.
Not too bad.
Yeah, it's a little, it's a delay, but it's better.
It's a calculated delay, let's put it that way. Wonderful.
But better outcome.
Even better.
Yes.
Wonderful. That story gives me goosebumps, Rochelle, knowing that today we had breakfast this morning, and here we are back in the studio, and just really excited about helping you go back, and live your let's say dream and your goals that you've put together there. So again, the power of goal setting and the power of perseverance, right? So let me tell you, I know it's not easy to work with me. And in the process, as you maybe share these ideas with others, what could you advise people in terms of who they need to become in order to actually achieve any goal they set to themselves?
So I think just be open-minded, like accept both the negative and positive feedback. So positive feedback will boost your ego, will inspire you to be better, as well as negative feedback. So negative feedback will help you become a better version of yourselves.
Are you a better version of yourself today?
I felt like I'm a different person compared to the Rochelle who came here 11 years ago.
I remember something you told me. She goes, by the way, Rochelle used to be, correct me if I'm wrong, a showroom manager, used to sell motorcycles.
That's correct.
Right? And you were actually managing one of the most successful showroom motorcycles in one of the provinces in the Philippines.
Yes, it became with our team. It became one of the...
Absolutely. So already a go-getter, right? So she comes to Dubai and she tells me, she tells me this later. She goes, sir, I came and I thought I knew business. I thought I knew everything.
Yeah.
But as I spent more time and I started to learn the proper structure, and so what are some of the things that maybe you've learned that have made you a better person, whether it's from selling or whether it's from organizing or whether it's from initiating, taking action on completing certain things?
So before, I thought selling was like you push someone to sell. This is my product, so you want something else? We don't have it. Just take this. This is what's here. So I learned that from the sales doctor himself that selling is helping. So providing service, giving people what they need and not what you want to sell. So make sure that whatever you offer them is going to help them make their lives easier. So in terms of life lessons, I learned a lot from you. So I've been telling you this morning about how amazed I am that whatever situation you are in, you're always calm, you always have this positive attitude. I never heard you curse or even shout to someone, even me. I've been working, I made a lot of mistakes, but
I think you're being kind. Sometimes my limit got to the edge, but what's cool is you've taken it the right way. If my voice ever goes up, it's not with the wrong intention, So
yeah, and that you treat everyone fairly. You're not like, I am the CEO. You should do as I say. So those are the things that, apart from the skills that I learned.
Some other traits.
Yeah. So these are the most important takeaway I'm gonna take with me, because this is going to help me go through life.
Wonderful. Rochelle, this morning at breakfast, you were telling me about how during the pandemic you faced a very difficult situation and how you've used some of the ideas that you've learned with the academy. Can you please share with us that story?
So my family, my father, mother, brother had COVID. So my brother and mother, fortunately, they just had...
Back in the Philippines?
Yes, mild symptoms, but my father was in a critical condition. So we were looking for hospitals to take him, but there was no available beds or rooms. So his oxygen level has been dropping. He's like in 82, and we still don't have hospitals. So I used the concept of network. So
using network.
Using network. So I messaged people that I know working in a hospital to ask for their help. And 4 hours later, automatically we have rooms.
So you're in Dubai?
I am in Dubai, and the situation is in the Philippines. It's happening in the Philippines.
Right. So that's amazing in terms of having to think on your feet, be able to then. You told me, you were speaking with your parents, and maybe your mom was crying, your sister was crying, your brother was crying, not your sister, and we're all in a bad shape, and you're like, come on, guys, snap out of it. Okay, someone has to take charge, and sure enough, the I'll get it done person, that's Rochelle, I'll get it done person goes out and drives this learning in a, just takes what she's learned and finds the resources. How far is the Philippines from Dubai?
8 hours flight.
Yeah, probably a good 4,000 miles, 4,000 kilometers or so. So that is in itself quite an amazing thing.
And after that, They actually asked me, how did you do this? You've been out of the country for like 11 years now, and you're still connected with all these people, like giving you medicine, providing, helping you get hospital beds and all those stuff.
So how did you do it?
And I'm not like into social media. I don't post on social media. I seldom message people. But I believe that once you've show kindness or you've been nice to people, when you need them, they're gonna be there. So human.
You know, you bring one of the basic elements in terms of relationship building. And with the concept of relationship building comes the principle of reciprocity. In a sense, my mom in Arabic, we have a saying that goes, do good and throw at sea. عمول منيح وكب البحر. So here you've built relationships with people and you know, and because you were kind with people in the past, you were in a situation that basically said, if they were to call me, would I help them? And you were strong enough to take this action. And I think here again, facing fear with action.
Yeah.
One of the things that helped you and can help a lot of people is realize, is fear real or is it an imagination? If it's an imagination, well then there's nothing to be afraid of. And the worst thing that can happen in this case is they would say no. And that's when you know who your true friends are.
Actually, in my mind, when I was calling people, that if I don't take the shot, it's total lost opportunity. But if they say no, it's fine. But what if they say yes?
Wow. What if they say yes?
Yes, and that they are willing to help, and they help me to find whatever.
And you save the life.
Yes.
You know. Wonderful. So again, some great wisdom from Rochelle Macam, which will continue in just a moment. So great to have you back again, Rochelle. And just as a way of, closing this chapter, being abroad, being in Dubai, what's next for you, Rochelle?
So I'm going back home tomorrow, but I'm still be connected with the Academy for Sales. I'm fortunate enough that Ramez gave me an opportunity to work with him remotely. And then I plan to do farming because I actually, after that 5-year goals, actually write down something was like I wanted to be a farmer just like my father, but a version 2.0.
Aywa, 2.0 version. 2.0 version farmer. And what does that really mean to a 2.0 version?
I'm thinking about modern farming. So because right now it's the traditional way of doing it, and most of the farmers now wanted to stop doing it. So I'm thinking if nobody wants to farm anymore, what we're going to do with those fields? How can we do a farming business without depending on lots of people? Because 5 years or 10 years for now, we will no longer